Now I call upon Geoff/Henry Lawson to address you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Auntie Isabel, Mayor, who has startlingly inaccurate memory of University of New South Wales relationships between cricket and AFL. Jonesy, who I've known since he's been breathing. Friends, relatives, former cricket colleagues and adversaries of mine, boys and girls and parents. It is an extraordinary honour to be standing here right now. I played my very ever first game of competitive cricket. That was in third class for Gerwood Street, about 2 cricket pitches that way. And they used to mow, the juniors had the strip mown, lawnmower stumps in play, while the 5th and 6th class were playing out in the middle of these 3 grounds, which were discussed as Bolton Park, cities were between numbers 1 and 17 on occasion, because we never knew which was which. So at the very least today we're ending that confusion for all time, so that's a very big plus. I did play my first game of 5th class competitive cricket on a hard wicket right there on that ground, which used to be a concrete wicket with a cork cricket ball, and I can remember a lot about those games. I'm very, very fortunate that I grew up in this city. I had terrific mentors and coaches who were also teachers, whether it was primary school, whether it was Ken Perez or Dave Reniker in the playground at Gerwood Street in the morning, where you played cricket incessantly, morning, lunchtime, afternoon. You had to get there early to get the tennis ball so you could rip half the fur of it so it would go reverse. A concept that's only recently taken off in Test cricket, I know. The fact that I've lived at the end of Ashmont Avenue for a long time, next to the Silverlight Service Station, which my dad ran for 40 years. Then we moved to the top of the hill, and as a response to us moving to the top of the hill, they built Ashmont Public School. And I refused to go to Ashmont Public School, not because of Jack, but still continue to ride the push bike into Gerwood Street. But the thing they did at Ashmont, and it may well have been Jack's move, they built the cricket nets literally, I think, 60 yards from my front door to the nets at Ashmont Public School. And my good mate Steve Kittle, who was always a very, very fine cricketer, opening batsman, probably because I bowled incessantly and he batted incessantly, that's my story anyway. We would practice on those nets every afternoon when we got home from Gerwood Street, and Jack would come up and, how you going, boys? Well, all right, thank you, Mr. Misson. Can we use the nets? Yes, you go right ahead. And he would come up every afternoon and just check that we weren't destroying the concrete too much, wearing out those leather balls on the concrete. And then I used to play a bit for Ashmont Club in the afternoon, actually, where you play the juniors in the morning, and Ashmont would be the one team you had to play second division. So I played on Ashmont Avenue when they first built it, on the Malthoid. It was a tremendous experience. And then you had the opponents you played against, and I see Wazza Smith sitting down here in Pam. And I know Waz has been driving this sort of project for 20 odd years. He coached all of us, Slats in particular. He sorted out Slats' batting technique, but obviously not his punctuality issues. That's ongoing, of course, with Slats. Nothing's changed there, mate. That's not going to blame Peter for that, mate. Warren Smith had the only bowling machine when no one had heard of a bowling machine in southern New South Wales, and he set it up in Bow Repair's tyre service in the main street, and it would go all winter. And we actually had winter practice with players like Ian Merritt and Peter Jordan. So we were incredibly fortunate to grow up in this community, not just playing our cricket, but this is a sporting community. It's not an accident, I don't think, that so many great sports people have come out of Wagga and the surrounding Riverina area. It's because the facilities were there in those days, the mentors, the coaches were there, and that's something that needs to be concentrated on now. I'm glad that the Cricket New South Wales are starting to look back towards southern New South Wales, and particularly these facilities here, because they are terrific. I did see southern New South Wales play the MCC on that ground right there, 1970-71. I sat on the back of the trailer next to Alan Marks, who called the game for ABC Radio. So I guess that's another circle in how they work for ABC Radio. And Steve Rickson was playing, 15-year-old wicketkeeper from Albury. Derek Rogers, of course, played, one of my probably greatest mentor. Stan Dacey, my English master, who refused to give us the cane Friday afternoon because we had to bowl Saturday. I'm not joking. No, not joking about Stan. He was quite quite the disciplinarian. But being inspired by games like that, hopefully big time cricket can be brought back here and the youngsters here can be inspired by that again. I really love to see that. And then I've seen, of course, Slater Taylor Lawson all had something to do with the University of New South Wales, all Wagga Wagga Cricket Club, and we've all had a lot to do with each other over the years. It is, once again, thank you, Wazza coach. I know what you've done. It's been super. Yes, more good to do with rewards. And of course, was any other issues you want to settle in cricket in the nation, Wazza's your go-to man. But it is just a great honour and a privilege to have a ground named after me where I played in a city that I have a great affection for. Thank you for attending, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.